Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 zero-waste Valentine's Day crafts. The 3 crafts I'll be sharing have 3 different effort levels. The first is minimal effort, the second has some effort, and the last one requires maximum effort. I hope you guys enjoy these crafts. Leave a like down below and let's jump in.
Our minimal effort crafts are going to be these paper coupons. For this craft, you're going to need a heart-shaped object, a hole punch, a pencil, some scissors, and some scrap paper. You can also freehand draw the heart if you're skilled. I'm not, and that's why I'm using this cookie cutter to trace out a heart shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and trace out that heart shape on all of my different pieces of scrap paper. I only cut out 5, but you can cut out as many as you would like. Next, gather all of your hearts together and align them, and then put the hole from the hole punch as shown here. Next, you're going to want to write down things that you would give someone or an activity you would share with someone. As you can see here, I did fries and Baby Yoda. Next, you're going to want to put a ribbon, yarn, string, twine, whatever you have, through that hole and tie it, and you can tie that into a bow or leave as is. For our craft that requires some effort, we're making this heart garland. You're going to need scissors, something to trace with, again, a heart design, some yarn, string, or twine, and some cardboard. So what you're going to want to do is trace that heart design multiple times. I did 6 on the cardboard, and again, you can freehand this if you're skilled. Then you're going to want to cut out those heart designs and just repeat that for all of them. Next, you're going to want to put a hole into the heart as shown here. You are then going to take your string and you're going to wrap it around the heart once and leave a little bit of a tail when you tie it so that there's a little tail hanging out, and we'll use that later. You're going to continue wrapping your yarn or twine around the heart, making sure that it overlaps with each other to give it this cool design. When you get to the end of your string or yarn, you're going to want to tie that remaining tail to the first tail that we had in the first step. You're going to want to cut off any excess string from those tails just so that there's nothing hanging down, and repeat that process with all of the hearts that you cut out. Next, take those hearts and put them onto a longer string to make a garland. And your garland will look something like this, but I'm going to show you an alternative method so that your hearts can face forward. Instead of stringing them directly onto the string, you can actually tie them, and this way the hearts will face forward instead of sideways. I really like how this turned out, and it reminds me of something that you might get at Target. For our max effort craft, we're going to be making these decorative ornament hearts. You're going to need some flour, salt, some semi-hot water, and a bowl to mix the flour, salt, and water in, and a whisk to mix it, as well as a heart-shaped object, or you can freehand it. I have a silpat to lay down on my surface, and you'll also need a tray for the oven. You're going to mix together your flour and salt, and then you're going to incorporate the water in intervals until it becomes a dough-like consistency. Once you've reached that dough-like consistency, go ahead and knead it. And as you can see here, I've used my silpat just so that it won't stick to the surface that I'm working on. An optional step is to add a little bit of cocoa powder, which will change the color of the dough and make it slightly darker. Once you've kneaded the dough so that it stays together, roll it out to 1/8 inch thickness using a rolling pin. Then you're going to cut out your heart shapes. I'm using an old cookie cutter, but as I mentioned before, you could also freehand this with a knife if you're skilled, which I am not. This is my cocoa powder dough, and I'm pressing in a plant just to give it some texture. You can decide whether or not you want to do this, and to give you a difference in color, here is the dough without the cocoa powder. As you can tell, the cocoa powder is slightly darker than this one. Pressing a plant into the dough will give it a 3D definition, as seen here. Make sure to poke a hole in the top of the heart before placing it in the oven for 1 hour at 300 degrees. Once your hearts have hardened and cooled, they will look something like this. To decorate my hearts, I'm going to use various methods. The first way is with a colored pencil. I'm just filling in those 3D marks left by the plant, and that's the final result. Some of your other options include using a crayon, or you could also use paint if you would like. And another method that I did was just write some people's names on the hearts, which is a simple way to customize a gift. Once you're done decorating your hearts, go ahead and put some twine or yarn through that hole to make it into an ornament. If you made your hole too small for twine, you can also use thread. Don't be concerned about dropping your heart, as the heart is actually pretty durable and I dropped mine multiple times. Here are our finished products. I definitely think that the colored pencil heart is my favorite. I just love how the detail comes out. My least favorite though is probably the crayon. I just really didn't like how the texture turned out, so I won't be doing that again. I was pretty skeptical on the paint option, but this one looks like a strawberry and I love it. And another one that I really love are the names. I just love how simple it is, but it's also really personalized and a cheap gift to give someone for Valentine's Day. This last heart doesn't have a hole in it, so it's more like a paperweight, which wasn't planned, but I guess it works. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have any zero waste Valentine's ideas, let me know down below in the comments, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye!